In this video, we'll talk about 6 players that experts are trading in 2025 Dynasty Leagues. I'm Alan Seslowsky, along with Anthony Cervino of RotoWire.com. Anthony, I'm buying old guys. That's how I play Dynasty. I want discounted redraft players. In the past, I went all in on 28-year-old then Mike Evans, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, even Leonard Fournette before he was traded to Tampa or signed with Tampa. It works out, but sometimes it fails. I bought a distressed Cooper Kupp, for example. The first player that I'm trading for this offseason is Derrick Henry in Dynasty. Players in your league are going to listen to conventional wisdom and sell 31-year-old running back with a heavy workload. I'm not even suggesting you'll get a big discount on Henry, but you'll pay less now than you will in September or October. Nothing is changing for Henry. He is the lead locked-in starter on the Ravens and is expected to be a top 5 running back in 2025. If things go south on your Dynasty team, you should still have opportunities to trade out of Henry mid-season. Players I'm looking to include in a Henry trade would be Blake Corum, Trey Benson, Jalen Wright, basically any of last year's rookie class that didn't fire but the market still likes. You'll need to include at least a second-round pick, but I want Henry now, and I'm always trying to win.
I'm trying to trade for Tyrone Tracy Jr. of the New York Giants. I get Devin Singletary is still under contract, but we saw Tyrone Tracy take over as the number 1 running back in New York. Now, he does have some fumbling issues, which could be corrected, but he's a versatile player, former receiver in college, transition to running back, and I think that's going to translate even further in year 2 in the NFL. I'm expecting the Giants to figure out the quarterback position another year under Brian Dable. Tyrone Tracy, RB31 in fantasy points per game, RB27 in PPR. I think there's room to grow here. The New York Giants were not a very good offense, and he still gave fantasy managers some top matchups. If they get it right, I think Tyrone Tracy could be a locked and loaded RB2 on a week-to-week basis in 2025.
Would you give up Mike Evans to acquire Tyrone Tracy?
I would need more.
Sticking with our old guys, man. Terry McLaurin's going to be 30 years old in September, coming off a career year as the wide receiver 7, Anthony. Sell, right? Wrong. Buy him. Catch TMC has been unlocked like fantasy players have wanted for years. Jaden Daniels, the rookie quarterback, is firmly in tier 1 QB bucket now. I think we can agree on that. And the coaching situation is stable in Washington, at least for 2025. Other than T. Higgins, there's no wide receiver free agents that would be anything more than a complimentary ad for Terry McLaurin, who's at the peak of his powers right now. Terry is similar to Derrick Henry, where he will be a top 12 player at the position, but you won't have to pay that big of a price. 2 trades I've seen on TMC that I liked was acquiring him and giving away Rome Odunze. There was some pick swap there, or getting Terry and a 26 first, giving back Marvin Harrison. If you like to play in the pick market, you'll need to pay at least 2 second rounders and a player that has some name value, maybe injured Panthers running back Jonathan Brooks. Who's going to be the next player trading in your Dynasty leagues?
Garrett Wilson. He is a player that I want to get my hands on. I feel like the community, that fantasy football Dynasty universe is going to be down on Garrett Wilson because it's now year after year. He's never really lived up to the hype, and last year was supposed to be it with Aaron Rodgers. And he finished as the wide receiver 17 in points per game and a 13 overall. But his overall ceiling going into the league, I had him valued as a top 5 wide receiver. Now, what happened with Garrett Wilson? Because early in the season, it looked like Garrett Wilson was going to smash, but he didn't. Well, the difference was once Davante Adams came to New York, Davante Adams was peppered with targets, game in and game out. We even saw Garrett Wilson towards the end of the year say, hey, I want out of New York. That's not happening. Garrett Wilson's going to be there for a long time. So I'm fine with that New York quarterback situation, Rodgers or somebody else. Garrett Wilson's a stud. Might be cheaper than you think because some people who already have him in Dynasty might be soured because he has yet to live up to the year after year hype. So players I'm willing to give up or picks I'm willing to give up, I would give up a mid to high first round pick in this year's rookie drafts. I'm willing to give up somebody like A.J. Brown. And I get it. A.J. Brown's a bona fide stud. He's getting a little bit older, and his value in Philadelphia right now, as long as Saquon Barkley is healthy, is decreasing.
Anthony, Nico Collins is the Dynasty wide receiver 8 by consensus rankings, and deservedly so. I've been trying to move off of him because every season he seems to have some injury issues. In 2022, he missed about 6 games. Pretty healthy season in 23, but missed 4 games in 2024. Now, obviously, anyone can get injured, but it was also concerning that C.J. Stroud, the quarterback, seemed to have taken a step backwards. And I still like Stroud, but anyone who wants to take the ride with Nico on their Dynasty team, have at it. There are 2 ways I'm looking to play Nico Collins this year. See if I can get up to Brian Thomas Jr. or Malik Neighbors or even Jamar Chase, and it would take something big to get there. But at least Nico Collins gets you to the negotiating table. I've seen a deal where Bucky Irvin and Nico Collins got the manager to chase. That's a deal I'd want. Wow. The other option is to move down, and how far down is really the question. Ladd McConkey, sure, but it's unlikely to get done because Ladd's owner probably like him even more than Nico. So how about Garrett Wilson, like you just mentioned, Xavier Worthy, Jordan Addison? You could probably get some nice picks for players if you're willing to move into that area of the Dynasty rankings. I'll report back if I get any of these types of deals done. Who's the next player that you're trading in Dynasty?
Jalen McMillan. Now, Tampa Bay, this offense could have looked a little bit different. Liam Cohen, obviously going to Jacksonville. We don't know what's going on with Chris Godwin yet. I don't see Chris Godwin returning. Jalen McMillan popped and flashed towards the end of the season. Tampa Bay, they have some money tied up in the wide receiver position and their offense overall. And now Godwin getting a little bit older. There's the injury concerns. He could be on his way out. Jalen McMillan, locked and loaded wide receiver 2 next to Mike Evans in this offense. Now, when given the opportunity early last season when Evans and Godwin were both out, McMillan struggled. Maybe he struggled because he was a rookie getting that much playing time. Maybe he struggled because he's not really a true number 1. But when Evans returned down the stretch, Jalen McMillan went on an absolute tear, was a featured part of this passing attack led by Baker Mayfield. And I don't think the cost is going to be astronomical. You could potentially get a locked and loaded wide receiver 2. And I'd be willing to give up, like we talked about Tyrone Tracy earlier, I'd be willing to give up, and I'm a big Tyrone Tracy guy, somebody like Tyrone Tracy, I'd be willing to give up Keon Coleman, who's tied to Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills.
If you enjoy videos like this, consider hitting the like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell to get notified when RotoWire puts up new fantasy football content every single week. And right now, you can get behind RotoWire's paywall for free. Just go to rotowire.com/try.